Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, we're going across the universe. Mars is a 10.1% double IPA from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. The last time I had a Mars was back in 2017. It was the first beer I reviewed for the channel. I picked up a 6-pack. It launched Draft Therapy, this whole Michigan beer obsession, and most importantly, it's when we all became friends.
Hello friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on this review for you, I'm going to get my ass to Mars.
I'd heard that Bell's re-released Mars in a limited quantity from their general store, so I figured it would be a good time to see how well this 3-year-old double IPA has held up. Now, I've had it cellared the entire time. I think, like I said, I had that one bottle, and I just recently put it back in the fridge so it would be ready for this. So let's give this thing the full Draft Therapy treatment, which means we're going to take a look at the label. We're going to get it into a glass. If you can tell me what the second review I ever recorded was in the comments below, I'll give you a gold star. That's right, a gold star. Yeah, and the first time I did this, obviously, I wasn't doing all the label stuff. I talked about the label, but I wasn't doing all these close-ups and these fades and all this crazy stuff that I do now. So let's take a look at the label, shall we? First off, on the overhead, I just want to mention this is one of one of those bottle caps that when you see it, you don't really know what it is at first. So it has Mars, the actual planet, like a picture of Mars on the bottle cap on the top of that's where bottle cap goes. All right. So anyways, so if we look at it, it's a black label. On the front, it has Bell's with Comstock, Michigan. It's black with a white outline or a white line around it. And then the label itself says Mars, just Mars. That's it. And then it has a picture of the planet. This is part of their Planet series. It says Double India Pale Ale, brewed and bottled by Bell's Brewery, incorporated in Comstock, Michigan. Nothing else on the front. That's it. That's all you get. That's it. Mars, the planet, Double India Pale Ale. That's it. So if you look on the back here, it says Mars, the Bringer of War, is a double IPA inspired by the music of Gustav Holst. An intense hopping regimen imparts incredible notes of tropical fruit, citrus, and pine, while Munich malt provides balance and a deep red hue. This has a shelf life of 6 months. This was packaged on April 7th, 2017. So I'm a little bit outside of that 6 months. And it's alcohol 10.1% by volume. I love to check beers out after they've been way past their expiration date. I know that's probably a little bit crazy. It's probably not what you really should do. You're not getting the full experience. But like I said, when I tried this initially, I really enjoyed it. When I saw that the general store released it again, I was like incensed that I couldn't get my hands on any. But I thought this would be the next best thing to talk about this, to kind of revisit Mars again. And this review is going to be so much different because I feel like my palate's changed quite a bit. And it's only gotten better, obviously. So we're going to pull a glass out here. It's a Teku glass. It is a Holmes Teku glass. As you may not know, my old Draft Therapy Teku glass got broken. So we're using this. We've stepped it up. Actually, I think this is the same bottle opener from 3 years ago. So let's go ahead and crack this and put a nose on the bottle here. Ooh, smells really, I don't know. I don't know about this. This may have been a bad decision. It smells really citrusy. It smells a little old. Oh my gosh. Okay, hopefully that's just the head that on the bottle. All right, yeah, it looks like it's going to pour okay. It looks really kind of milky in there, but I think that's just the head from opening the bottle. So let's go ahead and pour this. And that is murky. That is dark and murky, very cloudy. Lots of sediment in there. That is a crazy looking IPA right there. And I don't know what the new one looks like. And I'm just trying to see if there's a lot of kind of sediment float. There's not really a whole bunch of sediment in the bottom, of a bottle. If you let a bottle sit for a long time, you sometimes just get this cake on the bottom. I don't really have that. I actually have one more bottle of this too. So maybe we'll give it another 3 years and try it again. So yeah, the head's hanging on there pretty good, actually. It's about a finger worth of head, maybe a little bit more than a finger. Really tight bubbles. It looks great. It has a nice foamy head. At least the head looks really great. And if we hold this up to the light, that is like a copper, dark, murky copper color, brown. I think the technical term for that is brown. That's a pretty brown color. It's not like an actual brown ale, but it has a really brown color. Like that's obviously a lot darker brown. Let's go ahead and put a nose on the glass. I'm really starting to almost regret this, but we're going to go through with it for science. Yeah, lots of malty characteristic coming up there. Very fragrant, very almost like I said maybe I think more citrusy on the nose on the bottle, but I'm getting almost a bit more of like a resinous kind of quality. I mean, there is a citrus in there as well. Very fragrant, easy for me to say. There's like a biscuity kind of aroma in there too. I'm not sure I'm loving the aroma altogether, but all right, let's just go down the hatch, right? Cheers. Okay, so the aroma, there's just this kind of quality to it, and you can't. Obviously, this is no knock on Bell's. This is a 3-year-old beer. They give it a 6-month shelf life. Anything after that 2.5 years that comes after that 6 months, you can't say anything bad and expect it to be like held against this beer. So I get on the nose, the smell I was getting, and when I tasted it, I can kind of reaffirm it. There's this like musty quality to it. Not necessarily skunky, but kind of musty. So let's just get that out of the way. That's like a big kind of swallow finish kind of flavor that I'm getting. So let's talk about the rest of the flavor. The mouthfeel is actually really nice. It's a little bit on the thicker side for an IPA, but it has a really substantial mouthfeel to it, and I can't complain about that because that's actually pretty decent. Very sweet. It's got a very sweet flavor to it, and it has, like I said, it was getting that biscuity kind of aroma out of the bottle here, and that was not only a biscuity quality, but also kind of like this musty quality. The biscuity flavor is in there, but it's also kind of a musty flavor. So it's not totally something that I would go for and really enjoy. And I'll cut the clips or I'll take a look and you probably already have seen a little bit of me talking about Mars, the old Mars, the original Mars. But yeah, really, really sweet malty characteristics. But there is this a bit of a resinous kind of a resinous and a citrusy bitterness to it, like a hoppy bitterness. So that's in there too. So the bitterness is still in there. It has not gone away. The mustiness has not taken over that resinous, hoppy and citrus hoppy kind of bitterness to it. So this is an IPA. You're not going to drink this and think, sometimes if you drink Hop Slam, for example, and you drink it old, it starts to become a bit of like a barley wine. This might have some of those kind of barley wine characteristics, but it still has a lot of that hoppy bitterness in there. So that's not really faded too much. But it's with that kind of smoky, musty kind of basement characteristic that's in there, it also has I feel like I can taste some of that ABV. It's what is it? 10.1%. So it's not over the top ABV wise, but it's not like crushable. It's not something I would recommend that you toss a bunch of them back. But it seems like some of the body's kind of thickened up, but I think some of it has been lost to that kind of musty kind of characteristic that I'm picking up on, again, not only the nose, but on the flavor as well. And as I'm drinking more and more, that musty, I keep bringing this musty characteristic up. And again, no knock on Bell's. This is 2.5 years outside of when you should drink it. It still does have that musty characteristic, but it's fading on each subsequent drink. And I don't think that's because the ABV is so high and I'm getting, inebriated and I'm not tasting everything. I think it's just my palate's getting used to it. So it does have a really nice malty sweetness. It has a bit of that resinous and citrus hoppiness, but it's very sweet throughout. So I could see it kind of taking on some of that, a little bit of a barley wine characteristic, but I also think it still holds on. This was probably so bitter when I had it initially. And this is one that I do not remember trying when it came out. So I don't remember exactly like how it hit me at that point.
If you like two-hearted ale, you'll love this. It tastes really similar to it, but just a little bit brighter, a little bit more citrusy flavor, not so much of that bitter kind of hoppy taste. It's not really that bitter, but it does have a really similar aftertaste.
But I mean, I've had much worse than this. And when I saw that head, I was really, or, you know, in the bottle, I was really kind of afraid it had gone really bad, like milky kind of bad. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not the most appealing color, but I would love to try this against the new release of it. And you know, now I'm looking at the bottle here. It says tropical fruit, which I guess maybe that's in that sweet characteristic, that sweet kind of characteristic I'm talking about. But I'm not picking out any kind of tropical fruit taste. Citrus and pine, definitely getting citrus and pine, and Munich malt provides balance and a deep red hue. I'm definitely getting that malty characteristic. That's that sweet kind of malty. I think the sweetness is more of the malt than any kind of tropical fruit in here. Would I recommend that you hold on to your new Mars if you're able to get it and sit on it for 3 years and then try it? No, probably not. You probably want to drink it fresh. But, you know, this just kind of goes to show you that even if you have beer that you've sat on for years and years, I know I have, you know, doing this channel, I've bought so much beer over the years that I'm sitting on so much beer. Some of it I wouldn't recommend trying. Believe me, I 100% wouldn't recommend trying all of it. But I think this is one that I would recommend if you could get an old bottle of beer, you know, try it out. The worst that you do is you pour it out. And what have you been doing? Again, not stouts, barrel-aged stouts or barrel-aged stuff. But I'm talking like really high ABV IPAs or really high ABV beers just in general. Before you pour it out, maybe you just sit down, you invite some buddies over, you pour a bunch of them out, you do some tastes, and you do a little thing where you rank them or something, you know, where you can try these beers. If they're not great, pour it out. But if you might be surprised, like I was with this, you might be surprised with what you find. All right, friends, that has been a 2017 Mars Double IPA from Bell's Brewery. Did you get a chance to pick this up when it first came out, or did you get a chance to pick up the new one? And what's the first beer that you remember trying? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes beer briefs just kind of thrown in there to throw you guys off. And it's all for free for viewers just like you. And you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.